Hi everyone, it's Lisa. I hope you're all having an awesome day. I decided to do things this way because it makes my time go easier, which I like having easier things. So instead of doing lives, I'm going to do it on YouTube to share it to more places. Also, I'm going to be starting up a website focusing on health and mental health, wrapping it all up with the research I've done, which brings me to this. Okay, so over the weekend I was doing some training, and it was brought to my attention that the CDC noted that we had some vitamin deficiencies, or most people do. I shouldn't say we all, but most people. And so I was like, well, the CDC, I thought that they just dealt with things like, you know, diseases, like, after the fact. Apparently, they do look into other things. And so I did some research on it today, and let's see, we've got Spectral Laboratories Advanced Clinical Testing did an awesome job on this chart, so I wanted to read from it. And I'm not going to read everything, but if you want my research, just message me, or get back to the person who shared this with you, and all that. But okay, so the very common ones, the very common deficiencies. Vitamin B1, what it does. Carb conversion breaks down fats, protein, digestion, nervous system, skin, hair, eyes, mouth, liver, and immune system. Where it's found, pork, organ meats, etc., etc. And I'm going to talk a little bit about where it's found and why you may need to change. Don't not eat a healthy diet, but you may need to supplement that anyway. Heart, age-related, okay, symptoms and problems of it. And I'm just going to kind of skip to that, most of it, because I don't want to go on too long. Heart, age-related cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, and fatigue, okay? Another one, vitamin B2, very common. What it does, metabolism, carb conversion, breaks down fats and protein, digestion, sounds kind of important, nervous system, skin, hair, eyes, mouth, and liver. Okay, anemia is one of the symptoms and problems of it. Decreased free radical protection. Yes. Cataracts, poor thyroid function. Anybody ever wrestled with thyroid issues? They tested me for ones and I was not having fun. So I can tell you that those of you who actually have it, you're not having fun. B6 deficiency, fatigue, elevated homocysteine. Okay, vitamin B3, which is less common. Okay, what it does, energy, digestion, nervous system, skin, hair, eyes, liver, eliminates toxins. Awesome. Sex, stress, hormones, improves circulation. Symptoms and problems, crackling, scaling skin, digestive problems, confusion, anxiety, fatigue. That does not sound like fun. Okay, very common, B12. Okay, healthy nerve cells is what it does. DNA, RNA, red blood cell production, and iron function. And symptoms and problems. Anemia, fatigue, constipation, loss of appetite, weight, numbness, tingling in the hands and feet, depression, dementia, poor memory, oral soreness. Okay. Biotin is less common, but that one can cause some trouble. What it does, carbs, fats, amino acids, metabolism, building blocks of protein. Problems and symptoms. Depression, nervous system, premature graying, hair, and skin. Folate, very common. What it does, mental health, infant, DNA, RNA, adolescence, and pregnancy with B12 to regulate RBC production, iron function, reduce homocysteine. Okay, and then problems and symptoms, anemia, immune function, fatigue, insomnia, hair, high homocysteine, cardiovascular disease. And then I'm just going to go, there's vitamin C. For those of you who don't know what vitamin C does, it's a common deficiency. So, oh, gracious. I love it when that happens. Hang on. Yep, okay. Come on. Well, sorry about that. Now we're going to just re-blow this up. Okay. Try not to do that. It is not giving me fun. You are not being fun. I'm sorry. My computer, I had to blow this up because it was kind of written small for me, and I wanted to be able to read it easily. All right, where was I? Vitamin K is less common, so, but if you do not have it, or if you do have it, okay, what does it do? Aids in the formation of clotting factors, bone proteins, and the formulation of glucose and glycosine for storage in the liver. Symptoms and problems: excessive bleeding, a history of bruising, appearance of ruptured capillaries, or heavy periods. So for those of you ladies, you'll recognize that one. Okay, that have that. Vitamin E, very common. What it does: antioxidants, stabilizes cell membrane, immune function, protects against cardiovascular disease, cataracts, macular degeneration. Okay, symptoms and problems: skin, hair rupturing, red blood cells, anemia, bruising, PMS, hot flashes. Yay, anyone dealt with those? Woo! Okay, PMS, eczema, psoriasis, cataracts, wound healing, muscle weakness, and sterility. And it goes on down to CoQ10, carnitine, copper. There's a whole bunch of ones, and it rates them between common and less common and all that. So what am I saying here? Okay, nothing I'm saying here is intended to treat or cure anything, first of all. I do believe in eating a healthy diet, and it does give you the list of foods to go ahead and eat, but I'm going to explain why you may have a little bit of problems with that. Used to be way back in the day, we would go pick our own food off the tree. We did, farming. That has long since passed, okay? But the thing is, soil depletion. So we've gone to these commercial farms, and they tend to overdo things a little bit. So if you don't have as many nutrients in the food, it's not going to get into you. The vegetables start to lose nutrients after the harvest. Vitamin C, for example. Okay, the Food and Agriculture Organization determined this. When it comes to the actual amount of nutrients, produce are at their peak just right after harvest. Detached from the mother plant, their nutrients gradually break down. Post-harvest losses of vitamin C in green vegetables can be high after a few days of storage. In fact, a 2007 study revealed that vegetables generally lose 15 to 77% of vitamin C a week after harvest. The rate of losses varies depending on the produce. One study found that mature spinach could lose up to 80% of vitamin C after 3 days. Nutrient loss accelerates if they are mishandled, exposed to elements such as heat and light during storage, but a lot of factors come into play. Okay, so you have a wide range there, but the point is, the longer that they are away from the plant, the less nutrients you have. This is not something that's necessarily your fault unless you want to decide to start gardening, but this is just the way it is. Okay, and then your absorption, lastly, okay, if you have something like I do, which is a gut issue, you probably don't absorb what you're getting in very well at all. Most likely, when I took pills, powders, and liquids, I would eat them, and about half hour to an hour later, I would see them flushed in the toilet. So for getting good quality vitamins is a good thing, but you also have to be able to absorb them. So what I have done in the past, 2.5 years now, I can't believe it's been that long, I actually do a patch. Many of you have probably heard of these. Your skin is your largest organ, so it does absorb things. So yes, when you're dipping your hands in chemicals, remember that and wear gloves. But yeah, you have to, but getting the vitamins in that way has made an awesome difference for me. Like, I never noticed vitamins making a difference before. I would see them flushing out. I would not really feel a whole lot, so I didn't take vitamin therapy very seriously. I was like, oh yeah, right, it doesn't do any good. probably maybe some of you have said that. Leave me a comment if you've been one to said that, because honestly, if I hadn't felt the difference, I wouldn't be able to tell you that it was great. So anyway, we have the complete vitamin. It comes in a patch. It'll come just like this, and it comes on a sheet, which, do I have one here? And we have kids, and it supplies most of the vitamins on there. When it says complete, it's pretty good. If you can see everything that's on there, it's really a pretty long list. And I actually feel the difference. I have used Energy. We have about 11 patches depending on what you're looking for, but as far as nutrition deficiency goes, that one really helps fill the gap for me. And so I'm going to end this by saying that I'm just sharing what I learned, okay? I know what's worked for me. My hope is it'll work for you too. I know way too many people who are way too sick, and I think that instead of rushing to maybe a more extreme measure of like prescriptions and so forth, because a lot of the prescriptions do take vitamins to be able to operate, just so you know, you may be on a medication that is actually depleting some of your vitamins. Maybe let's start with the basics first, and then if you need to move up, maybe you have to move up. Maybe it'll solve the problem and you don't. You just never know until you try. Okay, so my hope is that it'll work for you to message me or the person who share this with you. If they thought enough of you to share it with you, they must really like you and want to help. Awesomely, I do make money with this. I just want to be in full disclosure. So I think it's a great way to earn your product. I earn my products, so hey, what can I say, right? Good way to make money and a good way to live as well. Message me, and thank you so much, guys, for listening and tuning in. And I do hope that when I get the blog open that I will be able to reach even more of you. Thank you so much.